Okay, so welcome to the next part of the series here on galactic alignment and the paradigm level shift, the quantum field evolutionary movements occurring now in a theater called us. The holographic universe, the unified field, the body of the source, whatever you'd like to call it. So Neptune in Pisces, I was just talking about compassion and moving through with acknowledgement, acceptance, apology, and forgiveness, self and others. This is the time to completely let go. Again, Pisces, compassion, forgiveness, surrender, unity. We're all doing the best we can, the best of our knowledge, the best of our ability to apply our knowledge or awareness. There's a good reason to forgive people. We're learning together. We are walking ourselves home. So ultimately, even things that we could find really upsetting and whatnot, if we've learned from it, if it's benefited us overall, if this is a permanent lesson to improve our modalities from here on in, then you can thank that. You can be thankful for that lesson. You can be thankful that is now a teacher, not an enemy. So very important to recognize that some of the greatest lessons, some of the most important lessons are the hardest lessons. Would we have learned that on our own? Would we have done that on our own? Maybe. Did we learn it really powerfully and quickly and easily through the cooperation with someone else? Yeah. That's relationship. The entire universe is one gigantic holographic relationship. We're in relationship with everything, and on different levels. Sometimes just in our awareness. Every thought, every vibration we have, that anything has, is moving through the macro field. It is affecting everything. So it does matter. And again, accordingly. And how much we're aware of it, that's another story as well. Pisces, 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 Pisces. So, and now Chiron. Let's look at Chiron because this is the final player in the sense of the big movements. Chiron is called the wounded healer. It is between Mars and between Saturn and Uranus. It is the world bridger between collective consciousness and universal consciousness. That means collective consciousness, as in human collective consciousness, and universal consciousness. So it literally bridges worlds, dimensions, actually, you might say. It's the key player in the realm of that, archetypally. It's one of its main functions. So when we look at that analogy, then we recognize this is what is bringing us through the veils into the next dimension. And again, aligned with Neptune, its co-ruler, going into Pisces, which they co-rule with all of these other planets and everything I've been speaking of, all occurring at the same time. Any questions is all I can say. And I'm sure you probably, maybe, all of us will have different levels of questions. But no questions over here. So just saying, from somebody who studies it 24/7. Okay, so Chiron, again, the wounded healer, it catalyzes transformation. Now, sometimes the way we heal something, like in homeopathy, we have a little tiny bit of what it is that we're having a problem with. We're teaching our immune system how to deal with that on a level it can handle. So what's happening here, and we might think it's more than we can handle, or not. Depends. Again, it's according how are you doing. So, how are we doing it, etc. It is a catalyst. That means it is an agent that transfers between dimensions, between states of being, we might say, between duality and unity consciousness, for instance. So, key point. Now, because it's going in at the same time, it is triggering the wounds. It is triggering us to heal our wounds through the wounds. That means the wound might come up again in order for us to acknowledge, accept, apologize, and forgive the charge that is creating these circumstances, because it's still there. That's what a miasm is. An energy miasm is a trauma held in the body energetically, and it can be released and transformed with the 4 A's, factored by compassion, accordingly. We can also get a good healer to help us do that. Why? Because they're so full of compassion. Way more powerful and long-term standing when you do it yourself or in conjunction with a powerful healer. So it's not just getting someone to do it for you. It's working with someone who does that full time, and learning to work with it and apply it and keep it going yourself. You know, the greatest doctor teaches you how to take care of yourself once you're healed, or how to heal yourself, or how to prevent any more problems. Okay, so again, all related to Chiron and going into Pisces. So that triggering now, bringing up old wounds, as the Mayans, classic Maya, had said long ago, that at this time, this culmination point, we will be going through a holographic experience of everything that's happened in order to acknowledge, apologize, forgive, accept. Not necessarily in that order. Acknowledge, accept, apologize, and forgive. Factored by compassion. The karma busters, I call that one. Of course, I dialed into that through the unified field. I would never have come up with that on my own. So, it's beyond the brain. Chiron, Neptune. So, this triggering, this catalytic energy is bringing up these old wounds to be healed. So you could think, wow, it's getting worse. Everything's getting worse. I mean, all these things are maximizing, and it's never seemed worse. You know, well, that's true, but that is exactly what's epitomizing what to do and what not to do, and every point between. Why? So that we stop doing these things that are destructive and detrimental. It's so simple. This is beyond tough love. This is eternal consciousness. This is the consciousness of eternity. This is not surface. This is the kind of supra-consciousness that is totally transcendent of ego, circumstances, physical conditions, comfort zones, anything like it. Right? So, I sound so serious because it is so serious, and I'm laughing because that's the way to transmute the energy. Accepting it, acknowledging it, apologizing, and forgiving. Factored by compassion. The karma busters. Free your mind, free your life, because you will free the charge. Okay, so big picture summary. Any angle that I've looked at this, beyond astrology or cosmology, I mean, these are great ways to explain it. These are what I focus on. It's a lot of information just through those two. Imagine if I put everything, and oh my God, I'd be talking forever. The interesting thing is that everything is coming through those two vehicles. All the alchemy, all the studies, all the beyond words. So this is showing us and tuning us into what is pretty much what you might say call beyond surface consciousness, beyond what seems comfortable, believable, understandable. It is enough to understand what the macro field process is. What shall I do? And again, there's the 4 A's. There's the 4 A's factored by compassion. There's our antidote to letting go of destructive or detrimental modalities, actions, choices, thoughts, energies, feelings, vibrations. All of it is vibration. All vibration affects all other vibrations. The more positive the vibrations, any amount, the more it affects other positive vibrations. Either way you look at it, positive, negative, they all vibrations affecting each other in a macro, interconnected, unified field of consciousness. It's a feedback loop of consciousness. That's what matters here. To recognize we are the whole, but our personal experiences, our personal body, it's the smallest part of ourselves. Even though a lot of people identify it as everything. That's a mirror. The mirror, it's the same, but it's the exact opposite. It looks the exact opposite in the mirror. You go to shave and you're like, oh, my arm's going the wrong way. It's exactly the same, but it's backwards. We perceive it in another way, totally different than it's different or separate or unconnected or dualistic or good or bad or right or wrong or good and evil and nice people, bad people. They're modalities of utilizing omnipotential, which is what the universe is. We are tuning in to our potential here. What could be more important than tuning in to our potential? Applying it. But we need the seed to plant. So that's what this is about. We're tuning into these. That's the point of this. Okay, so that's a pretty good summary. The other thing I'd like to mention is that Venus is transiting the Sun in 2012, and that means the Venus is eclipsing the Sun. Venus is very important. It is a holder. It holds energies. It rules the magnetic field. It is the key player of magnetism, what we're holding to. It's what the magnetic field that we need to drop negative charges, negative modalities, detrimental states or conditions of being through, and integrate higher ones to have holding patterns of things that are beneficial and empowering, obviously. It sounds like common sense, but you look at the news, you're like, it doesn't look too common. How common is common sense? Universal consciousness is what I mean by common sense. Unity consciousness is actually common sense to the universe. To the holographic field, there is no separation. What is this duality thing? Wow, you guys must be in a really dense state. Which it does comprehend everything. So, summary. Jupiter will also be at the end of Taurus, the guru of what are we holding to. Taurus, what do you hold to? What are your values? What is sustainable? What is wise use of resources? What is the potential of life on the planet? Art, beauty, art, elegance, harmony, and diversity. It's a matter of us aligning with our potential through love, through unity awareness, through unity consciousness. That means it's up to us. Each one of us individually, and therefore collectively. Thanks so much for listening. It's been Universal Traveler. I'm your Universal Travel Agent, Spectral Star Wizard. If you'd like a reading, or get a hold of me at universaltraveler@cjly.net. Or if you want to hear the shows, again, every Sunday at noon, The details are at the beginning of the first podcast that YouTube that I put up here. Okay, everyone, thanks again for listening. Take care. Bye-bye.